We won't wait. I'd like to call the meeting of the Parks and Rec Commission to order.
Roll call. Commissioner Fidrich? Not present. Commissioner Ishibashi?
Here.
Commissioner Lee? Commissioner Mitchell?
Here.
Commissioner Teeter?
Here.
Vice Chair Bites?
Here.
And Chair Doherty.
Here.
Thank you.
And now if we can have approval of the minutes.
I move that the minutes be approved.
One second.
All in favor?
I,
Any abstains?
I was gonna abstain, but I can't now because there are enough votes.
No, we can,
Is there four?
you can, if you read, if you read it.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll vote yes.
No, I'm.
You're abstaining? No, okay. So any no's?
Sorry, confusing.
Thank you.
any presentations? Oral requests? Unfinished business? New business? Natasha?
All right, so October 19th will be the Oktoberfest Fun Run out at Campbell Park. And I think Lauren Council has emailed all of you requesting some help and volunteering, so hopefully all of you guys can come out. I know you guys are a huge help at packet pickup on Friday night at Sports Basement, but also coming to the event would be great to have you guys. Even if you're stopping by, if you can't volunteer the whole time, just coming in and kind of seeing the team and everything in action would be great. So please mark your calendars for that one. And if you haven't responded to Lauren Council, whether or not you're available, please do so quickly. So, questions? And the next one too. So the Park and Recreation Master Plan is the next one. So we have spent all summer doing a lot of community outreach. We've completed the statistically valid survey. We did a lot of pop-up events out at Farmers Market as well as parks and our events in the summer with July. And then we did a community survey that was open for about 6 weeks. And we were hoping for 400 respondents and we got over 1,000, I think it was. So with almost 800 completing it fully. So we got a really good sampling from the community, which is fantastic. And we had our community workshop as well, which was also well attended, and a good cross-section of people who were there from ages to diversity in our community, which was great. So some good representation there. We will be having a study session. I encourage all of the Park and Recreation Commission to be there on October 15th at 5:45 in this room with City Council. There will be an opportunity for public comment for you to come in and say, add in any additional comments that you might have. They will be going over kind of the whole assessment that they've done so far and kind of laying out some framework for some emerging trends of where they're finding the gaps and asking council to kind of start with that prioritization. There's obviously not enough funding to do everything. So how do we kind of manage expectations with what they think we should be doing and what the community wants? So it should be a good meeting. It should be an hour from 5:45 to 6:45. So hopefully you can attend.
Is there any themes as or is there like an overall?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was anything out of the ordinary.
Surprises.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't any major surprises. So the staff report should be up soon. They did some really interesting maps for our communities. One is about like a 10-minute walking access, but then they did a health equity assessment that kind of goes through chronic disease in our area and the areas where I thought it would not be. I guess maybe that was the only surprising thing, but it reinforces the need in the John D. Morgan and Community Center area for more resources and funding, because those were kind of some of the higher concentration areas in our community for different types of things. So the health equity assessment was definitely eye-opening a little bit. So overall, I mean, our our parks are in good condition, good to fair condition, and the community use it that way, and the community doesn't see access problems as much as the like walking ability that we see when you map it. We can see the areas that are deficient, and so, but not, the community isn't coming out really strongly in those areas saying we need more, you know, so that's the other part.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Anything, Tasha?
Yes, we will move on and talk a little bit about the Los Gatos County Park Dog Park. So we've talked about this issue before here at the commission. You will recall that there is a quote unquote city dog park that's located in a county park. And the reason I refer to that is as you go back through the documentation over 20 plus years ago, you will find that there was an agreement once upon a time for the city of Campbell to be the lead agency in constructing that dog park. And then the maintenance would be taken on by county parks. I should also know that there were some contributions by some other local agents, small contributions from the town of Los Gatos, the city of Saratoga, as well as a construction contribution from the county of Santa Clara as well. So fast forward 20 years later, that surfacing out there is coming to the end of its useful life. We've talked to the commission before about programming some funding in the Parks capital budget out of the Parkland Dedication Fund, which we have. We had budgeted $300,000. We had been working collaboratively with county park staff on what the plan would be, and just as a working agreement, it was kind of going to be to formalize what had happened over the last 20 years, in that the city would take the lead in the renovation of the facility, because it really is more of a locally serving element there and not so regionally like many of their other parks are. And then we would enter kind of into a longer term agreement where the county parks would continue the maintenance, but we might take a little more credit for that facility than we have in the past. We might sign it as a Campbell Park or as a Campbell's Dog Park. That all kind of took that was all kind of placed on hold, where just as we were getting our information together on what the various types of alternatives would be about how we could replace the surfacing out there, most likely with another type of synthetic surfacing, but there are different types that can be used in dog parks. We became aware, as did county parks, become aware that the County Board of Supervisors was contemplating a prohibition on synthetic turf in all of their facilities. And so we have been kind of going around back and forth with them. There was an action, there was a report that was taken to the Board of Supervisors in August, where we thought we would get a final decision on, if the prohibition would be across the board, would there be exceptions for certain types of amenities? And rather than making a decision, the issue has been postponed until January. So we are continuing to lobby behind the scenes to see if we can make dog parks an exception to that. I will add, though, that part of the rationale here are some of the things that you've read about synthetic turf being used on athletic fields. And there have been some impacts with regard to that. And the type of synthetic turf that is used on athletic fields is not the same, or should I say it the other way around? What is used in dog parks nowadays is not the same as what is used on athletic fields. There's a different type of fill material. Even the synthetic blades of grass are constructed differently out of different material. And we think we have two good alternatives if the county board allows that. And if they don't allow that, we may have to look at other alternatives. I will say off the top of my head, none of which that we are really crazy about at this point, but they would include maybe an alternative for natural turf, which in my opinion and my experience is not sustainable in dog parks, or to have something like a combination of decomposed granite and something else that doesn't sound like it would be a warm, welcoming spot for dog parks, especially when you look at the other municipal dog parks in the area. So whether the county takes this action or not, we know that there are good dog parks, better dog parks in the city of San Jose, city of Santa Clara. We've gone out and looked at them. We've gotten feedback from not only the staff in those organizations, but from the users that we've encountered. So we feel like we have a couple of good alternatives. But in the meantime, we are going to be wait and see mode and hopefully, lobby behind the scenes to see if we can get an exception built into whatever action goes to the county board, whether it's by the size of the facility or by the type of facility. So we will keep you posted on that. But at this point, there's really nothing else going on there until we see what the county executive's office takes back to the board of supervisors. Hopefully, we will get this thing renovated at some point. So that's where we are with that.
What was the original hope? Like timeline? I can't remember.
Well, our original hope was that we would approach it much in the same way that we did the track project, because this is one of those types of things that because the facility is already built.
Right.
And we would not be starting from scratch. And where we've been able to look at kind of the infrastructure that surrounds it in terms of it's got a good concrete mow band around it. It's got a reasonable what you might otherwise call irrigation system that can be used to cool or rinse the material. And even the sub base appears to be in fairly good condition. So we've had a couple of different manufacturers and installers out there, and the approach is different. There's one that uses no fill material, and it really kind of allows for a lot more percolation of whatever you get from the dog, which means that you have to do more watering and more rinsing. And then there's another one that actually has a kind of more of a custom fill material that is more of something that has a material that doesn't allow for smells and infections and that sort of thing. And even just within looking at the city of San Jose, they've used the two different approaches. One out at Saratoga Creek Park, which is the one down behind where Orchard Supply is closed at Westgate West. And then one is over at Butcher Park, which is on Camden, just after Camden splits from Hillsdale. So they've actually used the two different types that we were able to see, and they both are operating successful. The users of those facilities seem to like it. We probably have a slight preference to one installation over the other, but would not make a hard recommendation at this point. But what that means is that because of that, it would be essentially a resurfacing.
Got it.
And you take off the old surfacing, you do some repair work to the base layer, not much, and you come back in with the new layer.
Got it.
The whole construction period would probably be in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 weeks for both the small and dog park area.
Okay.
So it would have a minimal impact in terms of downtime, if we can get to that point.
Right. Got it.
But for now, everything's status quo.
It is, unfortunately, and I'm sure on a day like today, that old turf is getting nice and hot for people. So it's really not doing anybody any good by us not being able to do something that's a little better.
Is the county prohibition, is that for county owned land or is that like countywide, like all?
It's
Like
for
what?
county facilities.
County
So,
facilities,
they really, it seems to be kind of focused on areas like Twin Creeks, which is all county, it's a county park facility essentially. But they were proposing an exception for the county managed animal care facility, which does have a dog run, much smaller than this stuff, but it's like a 3,000 to 4,000 square feet. So we're kind of trying to hitch our wagon to that same approach. This is a little bit larger, but same theory. So that's kind of what we're hopeful for, that may give us the avenue for the exception. Other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Todd. The November 6th meeting.
No, you skipped
John
one.
Oh, the
John D. Morgan Park parking lot. So that is me once again. So we've talked to you a few times about our wonderful parking lots out of John D. Morgan and
I
how
walked over there to check it out. Nothing's happened.
nothing has happened. I would make a comment that you are very observant. Oh, only I will not make that comment. We've talked about how the character of the park has changed over the years, and it is in need of more parking. But there were also other issues that we were trying to tackle as part of parking improvements. We know that over the years we've had people driving into the park to do their own event, their own type of event setup. And exactly. And so when we went out there to look at how we would approach the parking improvements, you know, we looked at the 3 lots. The one that probably needs the most immediate improvement is the long, narrower one that runs along the expressway. So we're focusing on that one right now. We just completed our design. The plans and specs went to council for approval last night. So that project will go out to bid very shortly. It is a estimated, you know, the construction estimate on that is about 156,000 or so. So it's not a super large project. What we will essentially do is do some pavement rehabilitation out there. There'll be some dig outs, there'll be some crack seal, there'll be some slurry seal work. But we're also going to find ways to reconfigure that lot where what we have out there now is 69 parking stalls, including 1 ADA. The 1 ADA is particularly concerning in a lot that size. We will expand only by 3 stalls from 69 up to 72, but we will increase our ADA stalls up to 3, which is more commensurate with what you need with today's regulations. So not only will that happen, but we'll have a kind of a cleaner turnaround area down where the parking lot dead ends. So anybody that goes in there and it's full will have a way to kind of do a 3-point turn and not get stuck in there. But the other thing that we're going to be doing is installing some fencing that will separate the parking lot from the kind of the inner strip where we have the connecting walkway that takes you out all the way to the bud side. So that will have the added benefit of not only separating the vehicles from the bikers and the walkers and the strollers, but it will also have the secondary benefit of keeping cars and other unwanted vehicles from entering the park. We will retain a maintenance access down closer to the ped bridge, where there'll either be a gate or some removable bollards where our staff can get in and out as needed. But by and large, we're hoping that we can not only improve the parking lot, kind of improve what we see happening at the park out there, particularly during busier times. So again, looking that construction should start sometime during November, and weather dependent, we're projecting maybe a January, potentially February completion. So should all be in place going into the next lawn season. So that's where we are with that. I should add that, let me speak briefly on the other 2 parking lots. So the small parking lot on the Rincon side, closer to where the restroom building and the ball field is, that parking lot is actually in fairly good condition. And so we will put that on our regular maintenance program. In-house staff will take that on as a seal coat project the next year, possibly 2. The bud side parking lot is going to be wrapped into the restroom replacement project. So when we do that all at once, we'll not only look for how we configure the new restroom out there, because that one will no doubt be larger. So we're also going to have to look at improving ADA access and potentially obtaining more parking out there. That is our next project at JDM that comes after the completion of this one. So that's all I know about JDM parking lots.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
When we went to visit John D. Morgan, we were talking about people parking there that were in the apartment buildings and
Yes.
staying overnight and having maybe the police come and circulate a little bit more often. Has that been happening?
I can't validate that it has. I know that we've noted the concern. I don't know where we are with enforcement and whether PD is finding that, but I will take that as a good reminder for some additional follow-up.
And I noticed on the first street you can turn down that backs up to the park.
Oh, maybe?
Yeah. So there's a homeowner there that puts cones out so nobody parks in front of this house.
Oh, really?
Yes. think I did. So anyway, just something that you might. want to
Yes, something that we
I
should be
don't
aware of.
think- I mean, I get it.
Yes.
That it's your house and you have space open,
It's a
but,
public street.
Mhm.
you know, it's the entire length. The entire length of this. So, that's it.
Good, thank you for that.
Okay, any other questions? Comments? Okay, the November 6th meeting.
So the November Parks and Rec Commission meeting, as you know, is the first Wednesday of the month, which would be November 6th. However, you may or may not know that the council meeting, the first council meeting of November, has been moved from the first Tuesday, which would be the 5th, to November 6th, because November 5th is election day. And council, has chosen not to be in session on election day, particularly when we will have one council member on the ballot, and then the other seat will be open that night as well, plus all the other things that are happening that night. So that being said, we have some options. We can look to reschedule that meeting. We can cancel that meeting, and if there's no super high priority things that need to come back to the commission. I would add that if we cancel the meeting, we may want to keep the December meeting, which is early enough in the month that it should not be interfering with the holidays. We have a few commissioners that are coming to the end of their term. I don't know off the top of my head who's reapplying, who's not reapplying, but that could be the end of, that could be a few people's last meeting if we,
These three.
yeah. Oh, look at that. They would all be, look at that. Look at how that worked out. So I think it's really your call. I don't know that we have a pressing need to hold the November meeting. So we'll leave that to the commission.
Timers.
I'm fine with canceling it, unless anything comes up, if you need.
I mean, we could do it that way.
Sure.
If you need a meeting sometime before December. Excuse me.
Well, we'll see you all at the commissioners, perhaps.
Next meeting.
I'm 16 years, I'm done. It's been great, but
I think we would need a motion to cancel the meeting.
I will make a motion to cancel the November 6th. Parks and Rec.
All in favor? Any abstains? Any no's? Thank you.
Okay, committee reports, Parks and Recreation. Wait a second. Park and Creek Trail Chair, Teeter. Do you have anything to report?
every time I go out on the trail, when it's hot, always use lots of ice. Sweaty with people that are out there. And it's really neat. That's fun. I don't know.
I got a really try. Okay. But yeah, other than noticing that the parking happened.
Soon.
But I did notice that, it's busy.
Sure.
Less
Yep.
busy right now than it's back in session. But it's- so that's-
So I have a question about grass. Does anyone try to get the nematodes, get rid of the grubs and the grass? Those. Terrible.
Good evening, Commissioner. I have not talked to Bob about the grubs. I have noticed there has been some grass areas that have been torn up, and I know he's addressing some of those, but I can confirm that with
The
him.
other reason I'm saying that is because we had a severe problem in our backyard, not only
Mhm.
crows, but raccoons. Destroying our lawn, but the summer winds, sprayed it on. Rest of the yard.
Well, thank you for
So
that.
that's just-
Thank you.
We bought a dead crow, hang it from our tree, and we move it around, and the crows have disappeared. here from our area. They
Does
don't
that
like
work?
that,
East?
But you do
Send
need
it
to
to
move
one.
them.
The geese.
Yeah, let's
Hang
try
it from the
that.
goalpost.
Let's try that.
Raycon sign?
Okay, trees, chair issues.
Nothing to report on trees.
Okay. Special events. Chair Spinrich is not here, so. Ms. Lee, nothing to report?
Nothing to report. Have there been events since our last July meeting?
The Oktoberfest coming up. It was just the end of the like summer stuff. That was it. So
Mm,
And we're doing the staff reports, parks.
Turn it over to Ron.
Well, good evening again, Commissioners. I got a couple bullets from Bob, and I have a couple items I've added in too. So Todd was just talking about John D. Morgan Park. We had a young Eagle Scout that had a project with his scouting group, was to complete a landscape renovation project. So he came out, met with Bob, and they talked about the two signs at John D. Morgan Park, the one on the Rincon sign, which is the big wooden one. It's kind of a brownish color with the yellowish lettering on it. So what happened over the last weekend is he came out and the sign on the bud side, that was stripped down and it was all repainted. And it has all the lettering redone. It turned out really nice. It really stands out now. You can kind of see it. It doesn't blend into the hillside as much. Also on the other side, on the Rincon side, he was able to pressure wash that sign down. That sign looked really still in nice shape. It was painted well. And then around the base of it, there was a little bit of landscaping. The old landscaping was taken out and Bob was able to have him plant some grasses. Some of the, I apologize, I don't have the correct name for them, but some of the taller grasses that were placed in there around the bottom of that. So it really dressed that up and it looks really nice now there. So, and it helped him out too. He was excited about completing it and he got that all taken care of. So that was something that was taken care of. Moving over to Edith Morley Park, last weekend on Sunday, there was about 20 volunteers out there. What they did is they went ahead and sanded all the picnic tables out there down and then stained the benches and the tables and everything. There was one bench that was taken out because it had some rot on the legs of it. So that was taken out and we are looking into replacing that one as quick as we can. But the benches turned out really nice. They look good out there. So, and it helps protect what we have out there right before winter too. So it was a good thing. So that was taking care of it at Edith Morley. Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. So the sign is being redone. That's another volunteer project. You can see the sign, the temporary sign that was up, that was all done by in-house staff too with our sign plotter that we use for our regulatory signs and everything. So they did a nice job on it. If you look at, they got trees on there and it looks, so we've actually ordered all the wood to construct a new one. So hopefully we'll get that in the next couple of weeks and then they'll actually start the fabrication and start putting that back together. We're hoping to have that done in hopefully the next month or month and a half. But that's also another volunteer project. So we'll get that one done. Steinovich Park. Most of you are aware that we had a swing set that was had one of the legs was rotted out completely. The post was gone. So went ahead and got a hold of Miracle Play Structures, and they were able to just recently put in a new swing set for us with the metal posts and everything powder coated. unfortunately, when they delivered the swing set, it didn't come with actually the hardware to hang the swing. So right now it's just the structure with some legs there. So, but they called us and told us those will be in shortly, hopefully in the next week or so. While we were out there replacing that, it was noticed that the bar was really low in that play area too. So Bob had ordered about 50 yards of bar, and they went ahead and sprayed that all in, so it brought the bar up to where it needs to be. So yeah, it looks much better. We're hoping to have those swings operational hopefully in the next week or so. Let's see, I was going to talk about this. Bob put something down, but I think I may pass on that one. But wanted to talk about the park course equipment, the existing old equipment, 13 stations. It's probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, staff went out and revisited all the sites to actually take a look at them more thoroughly and everything. And out of the 13 stations, we came up with, we need to probably remove 4 of those stations. Actually, 2 of them don't have any equipment there now as it is, but we have, yeah, there's nothing there. There's a sign that's been graffitied over. And then we have 2 others that are in poor shape. They're beyond repair. They're really rotten. The wood is gone. So we're going to eliminate those 2. But that still leaves us 9 stations. And what we're going to do on those 9 stations is, and this is work is all going to be done by in-house staff. Actually, streets crew will go out and remove those other 2 structures with the tractor they have, small tractor, and they'll pull those out. And then Parks crew is going to take over from there. On the other 9 station, they will go out, and we've noticed a lot of the hardware and some of the rails and stuff were loose. And they go ahead and put all new lag bolts in and tighten that all up. And then all the wood part of the structure will be repainted with, it's an Oxford brown. It's nothing special, but that'll be all be freshened up and make them look much better. Just wanted to let you know, and I appreciate Commissioner Teeter, your time out there and yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there was a couple of spaces where things, there was nothing there.
Yes.
that We thought it would be a good place to stick a bench.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate it. Well, I'll put that down, but just wanted to let you know where we were on those. We're hoping to start those hopefully in the next couple of weeks too. We'll remove the old ones and then they'll start. We're trying to get some of the stuff before hopefully we get some rain. So we can only hope. But yeah, so other than that, that's about all I have to report on. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, so I did remember, we did, last month, we had the Kindness Rock Garden opening, which was a really nice event. If you haven't been out to Edith Morley, I suggest you go check it out. It was really nice with the community that was there for that event, and they had quite a few rocks, so it is pretty full in there. Like it covered the whole tree well, which was fantastic. And then additionally, we had the story walk opening, and we had about 30 or 40 people who came for story time and music and things like that. And it was a nice opening of that. So those 2 projects that came through the PRC were both unveiled and opened just last month. And as we mentioned, we do have PRC openings, so either please reapply or tell your friends. Deadline to apply is November 11th, so we do need to fill our commission, and the applications that are coming in are very low, so we're hoping to have 3 of you that are probably not returning. Our adult center has a caregivers count conference that's been going on every Saturday this month. This last session will be this Saturday. It's going to be in person. It's at the community center from 10 to 12, and the topic is self-care and resiliency. It's free to attend, and you can register at caregiverscount.net. And the adult center is also hosting a fall fiesta on Friday, October 11th from 4:30 to 7:30 in the banquet hall. Tickets are $30 and they're still on sale, and you enjoy Mexican dinner and live music. So it should be a nice event if you're looking for something to do on a Friday. The Historical Museum's hosting a history happy hour at the end of the month on Friday, October 25th from 5:30 to 7:30, and tickets are $25 and still available. The topic is Stick 'em Up, the 1926 Campbell Bank Robbery with David Blinn. So David is a researcher who has done a lot of digging into the bank robbery, and he's a great speaker, so highly encourage you to go. And the Heritage Theater has finally announced their full season. So this Friday we have Jimmy Vaughn, which is a makeup show from last season. So it's Jimmy Vaughn and the Tilt-A-Whirl Band. There's still tickets available. They're $68 per ticket, and it's Friday at 8 o'clock. Then next week on Wednesday, we have Herb Albert and Lonnie Hall, and on Wednesday, October 9th at 8 p.m. Tickets range from 57 to 72. It is almost sold out, so if you're at all interested, I'd suggest getting your tickets. Nick Carter will be next. It's the Who Am I tour. He is from the Backstreet Boys. He's on Friday, November 22nd at 8 p.m. And Serial Killers with Dr. Scott Bonds. We're trying something new, kind of a podcasty type of event on Saturday, March 1st at 8 p.m. Then Velocity Irish Dance featuring David Geeney on Friday, March 14th at 8 p.m. And then our final show is the Commodores minus Lionel Richie on Saturday, April 5th at 8 p.m. And then this Saturday, October 5th, we're hosting our first ever floating pumpkin patch at the community center pool. So events from 12 to 1:30, ages 2 and up. Every person who comes, it's $15 per person, and you do need to pre-register in advance. You can do that online through our registration. So something fun to do, trying to try some new events through the community center. And lastly, we do need to take a group photo before we all go, so don't run away. And the commissioner dinner, save the date for November 18th. It'll be at Banquet Hall. No, the community center, Banquet Hall. Last year it was,
I know, last year was that that thing near upstairs. What is that thing?
Villa Ragusa.
Villa Ragusa, that's it. Thank you.
Was it there last year?
It was,
Okay.
yeah,
Prior to that, they were doing fresh.
yes.
Yeah, so,
Yes, we did.
Put that for the staff. When they do it at the bank.
it's all catered. Yeah, I think the restaurants, it becomes, cause they've been doing it over here, like Willard Hicks, and just
It
became,
was a Willard Hicks for a
wasn't-
few years.
yeah, it was hard to like talk, and you generally didn't get to see the whole commission
Yeah.
together and those kinds of things. So I think they're trying to make it a little bit more like together versus so spread out. And it's hard to find a restaurant that's willing to close down too. And so Villa Ragusa is the same as Banquet Hall with,
Yeah,
you know, so
for
to them, it's like it's catering one place or the other, so.
They did have that cooking institute one time too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay, good of the game, Gracie?
That story, the story thing that you were referring to, are you talking about the park story?
So at Jack Fisher.
Yeah, I actually went by, I did go by there and I was jogging around them and I was like, oh, I think they're really cute, actually.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I thought, well, it's with the logos.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if you guys are around. You should find it out. Actually, I will. Very new. You have to sign up.
As long as it doesn't influence football.
Yeah.
Can you give us an update on the police station? It's kind of off topic. First, but it's informational only. How's that going?
Well, I will tell you that the police station is going exceedingly well. It's actually making a lot of progress. The goal on both projects is to make them kind of watertight before the winter, because if we are able to do that, we can keep going kind of at the same rate of progress. So that would be a good thing. On the police side, it's really been encouraging because, you know, you're building from the ground up. You don't encounter a lot of unexpected things, and so things kind of go as they're supposed to go. What has slowed us down a little bit with the police building has been steel, right? So our steel subcontractor was not getting here as fast as they could, and then there's a whole issue with trying to coordinate with the crane. So we've done mean, all of the superstructure is in, and as you can tell, that will probably be the sturdiest building in the
Yes.
city of Campbell for many years to
Not just
come.
one.
That building is not going anywhere.
Feel like that going in on my street.
Is it really?
Oh, yes. Oh,
It's-
yes. Yes.
Wow.
That's crazy.
The light, I know you didn't ask about the library, but the library has been a little bit more challenging because of the things that we encountered along the way that we didn't anticipate. You know, things that were underground, how we had to close up the old elevator pit to accommodate the new elevator pit, and there was some overlap, and and then there's, you know, there's waterproofing issues when you do that, and then the whole outside perimeter needed waterproofing. But what we found is, as we excavated, what you thought was a flat wall kind of then poofs out with concrete all the way, and you can't apply waterproofing to a really non-uniform surface like that. And so there's been a lot of, you know, regrouping and work, and, you know, not to mention the asbestos that was on the roof that had to be just, all these things that you think are probably there. Well, they are there. And we've found just about everyone. I think the good news is that I don't know that it's possible that we could find anything else over there, because we have found so many. So it's kind of a race to the wire to get the roof on that thing. But when the steel comes to the library, we're waiting on a couple more steel beams and one post in particular, then the roof can go back on. And so again, once we get that buttoned up, we should be able to keep our progress. Potential summer concerts next year.
Oh, yes.
We make no promises.
Long extended.
Yeah. When all is said and done, it'll be easier. But if we have to do it while it's under construction, that'll be tough.
So I don't think we've had a meeting since summer, but just want to say that we really appreciated the summer rec swim schedule. And, you know, I had a niece in the camps, and my son was in the toddler swim class. I don't think he actually learned how to swim. He just kind of screamed the whole time, but you know, it was a lot of fun. So just, yeah, it was a good summer. And I know that we didn't do the everyday daily events of July, so hopefully it was a little bit easier to handle on the staff as well. Yeah.